See, if you want that living water, if you want that Spirit in your life, this is the oasis where you can drink as much as you want and bring it with you. Matter of fact, the first time that Jesus talked about living water was the exact same time that he was having a conversation with this woman at this well in Samaria. Not Jewish, kind of different, but kind of the same, Samaritan, a lot of bad blood. And it is the first time, and it is the only time that Jesus talks about worship. It's the only place in the entire New Testament where Jesus actually talks about worship. Not the form of worship, not the parts of worship, not the style of worship, not which songs we should be singing, but what should be going on inside of us. So let's revisit that passage. He says to that woman, he says, "Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit, in the Spirit, and in truth." Spirit and truth. He said, these are the kind of worshipers the Father is looking for. So Jesus says there's two things that are important for worship, spirit and truth. But you got to start with truth. Truth is your mind. Truth is your beliefs, facts about what you believe in. Jesus says you have to have a belief system so that you know who you are directing your worship to. If you don't have that straight in your head, you're going to be all over the map. Now, as a Christian, we say, oh yeah, we're clear about that. Jesus is the Son of God, the one who died and rose again and forgave my sin. But you have to be clear on that before you're actually able to or willing to worship that one. And here's why. Because, well, yeah, Jesus was a good guy. Jesus was a good teacher. He was a rabbi. Yeah, he was great. He had great words. But I'm going to tell you, I've never worshiped any of my teachers in my life. I've never worshiped any of my professors, and even some of them I admired. But I never worshiped them because they were just people. So Jesus says you got to get to the truth before you can get to the Spirit. And once you have that figured out, something happens to you. As a matter of fact, Paul talks about it in Ephesians. He says, if you figured out the truth, then we will no longer be infants tossed back and forth by the waves and blown here and there by every wind of teaching. It's like, oh man, once you get that figured out, you're going to be like, I believe that, but I don't believe that. And once you have that resolved, you can move from truth into spirit. See, spirit is the part of worship that's inside of you that's capable of faith. That's capable of surrender. It's capable of trusting something beyond yourself. To be able to cast your anxieties onto Jesus. That's what spirit does. Because truth can't do that. You need truth, but truth can't do that. Only spirit can do that. Spirit is the thing that allows you to open your heart to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. There's a lot of people in church, I'm not pointing fingers, who have the whole truth thing figured out. They know all the truths about God. You know, Jesus, Son of God, Father, Son, Spirit. You know, Jesus rose on the third. They got all the belief system down, but they've yet to open their heart to receive the Spirit of God down here. They got the truth thing, but they can't cross the line into spirit. Past hurts. Others have let you down. It's easier to put a wall around your heart and keep people out, including God, because you're not sure it's really real. Others who are just so self-sufficient that it's really hard to trust something they can't see. But that's the invitation in worship. To open not only your mind and having a belief system, but opening your heart to receive the Spirit of God who will carry you. When your energy is run out, when your spirit is empty, you don't have to somehow figure it out. You turn it over to God. So open your hearts, not just your minds, to Jesus, and he'll open up that new future. Now, with that being said this morning, maybe this is new to you. Maybe you've never heard this before. Maybe it's just sinking in, and maybe you're ready to open your heart a little bit now. And so before we go to offering, before we move to the next part of the service, we're just going to take some time right now to worship. Just a little bit. An opportunity for you to say, Lord, fill me. Give me your spirit. My mind is there. Now my heart is ready.
salvation. You chased down my heart through all